If you wanna find me, yeah, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. It's the best place to be, I'm in the front row. Best place to be, yeah. If you wanna find me, yo, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. The best place to be, I'm in the front row. Best place to be, yeah. So what's colder than ice?
Welcome back, guys, here on the In the Front Row YouTube channel. We have a full panel of hosts. Shereen and Fredo are with me, and Paul Showtime Gaffney is here as well. Paul, we want to come to you to get to know you a little bit here on the In the Front Row Spotlight. What first made you pick up a basketball and want to get into basketball?
You know, that's really a funny story because my aunt was like my mom, and she was in high school at the time. I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, and she was a senior, and a guy that wanted to date her knew that the best way to her was through me.
Oh.
And so he took me out on the court in the park, taught me how to play the game. You know, he was the first one to really introduce me to the game. And then I remember a young lady named Margaret Harris. She was a top player at the time. I looked up to her, and she helped me out because I didn't even know what guards were or forwards were. She took me under her wing. She's probably about 4 years older than me, but she was a top player. And, you know, talking about women's sports, I mean, she was definitely one of the people that I could say helped me learn the game early.
What a great story.
Yeah.
That's a great story because women play very much fundamental basketball.
Oh, I tell my son, I tell anybody that we coach, I say, if you want to see how the actual game is played through the fundamentals, you watch the girls. Watch the girls play. They're going to be fundamental. They're not going to be jumping all over the rim and, you know, just super athletic ability, even though they got great athletic ability and can do so much, but they're gonna keep it pick and roll, how to shoot the jump shot, you know, left hand, right hand, boxing out.
They have plays.
You know, so I mean, you look at that, you can really see the trueness of a basketball game when you watch the ladies game.
That's
a great story.
Yeah.
So how was it in high school and beyond? You know, how did you?
Well, you know, being out of the state of Kentucky.
Completely all about basketball, right? It's not a football school.
You know, you had to play. I'm from the coal mines of Kentucky, and you know, just a little background about myself. You know, I was adopted before I was born.
Wow.
My biological mother just had a child about a year and some months before me, and her mother, you know, when she got pregnant again, she went to prom, thought it was, you know, that she ate too much egg salad, but it wasn't egg salad. And so during that time, it wasn't as popular, you know, or as acceptable, I say, you know, to have children. It was already that you already had one. And she told her, she said, look, either you're going to put this child up for adoption or you're going to have to abort it. Simple, you know, nothing cut and dry. You know, it was cut and dry in that level. So my parents at the time were older couples. They were like in their 60s at the time, and they could never have, well, my mom could never have kids. And so they were like the community parents that give out ice cream and always around there. And so they worked out the situation. So at birth, I was given the last name Gaffney. And from that standpoint, I was about to turn 2 on January the 26th. Write that down. Make sure you remember those dates so we have the gifts. But on January 18th, my mom, I was in the house with her. I was again about to turn 2. She had a heart attack. She had a stroke, and so she passed. And so at that point, it was my father and myself for 20-some years. And so I was adopted, raised by a single parent in a rural area. I mean, all the things that, you know, those stories can take a different turn than it did. And I think, you know, working on the path of athletics and had family members that were deeply into education. It's just a clear path for me from that standpoint. And like I said, and being in from the state of Kentucky, it was once you taste the athletic and being in sports, and just seeing, and it's a high, it's just like any other thing that you can take, any other stimulant I could say, of being an athlete and then being good at being an athlete. It definitely helped you reach different levels. Definitely had to have your education to even play. So that was when Prop 48 first came out, all of those kind of things. So it was definitely a push for education and sports. And at the time, I was verbally signed to go to Kentucky. Myself, Rex Chapman came out that same year, Spelton Spencer, that went to Louisville, Reggie Hansen, all of these guys, Nick Sanford from Kentucky was going, and then that's Coach Joby Hall retired, and Coach, oh my God, from Oklahoma State. He just.
He's not gonna forgive you.
Oh my gosh, he just passed too, not too long ago. But he came in, so he had his home crew, and he kept Super Rex and all of that, and I went somewhere else, but it was definitely great. And I'm always a Kentucky fan. Even I'm a Louisville fan. Everything coming out of the state of Kentucky, we support. But it's great. I think one of the things you said by high school is just that burning desire to play that game that you love, especially in basketball. And I think we're about one of the only states in the country that is what we call our state tournament is called the Sweet 16.
Really?
Because it's 16 regions.
Wow.
And in the state of Kentucky, and if you're single A or 5A, it doesn't matter. You have to play. And that's how you make it to the Sweet 16 that's held at Rupp Arena for the state tournament. So basketball is deep. You can, again, we had a lot of single A, and when we were there, we were one of the top single A teams out there. We beat several teams. We played AC Floor out of South Carolina when they had the two twins, and
Wow.
Xavier McDaniels and all. I know some of y'all don't know who that is. Y'all a little young. But
My guy.
yeah, like who you gotta look through gotta stroll for that one. But I mean, we had great talent on there. Again, being a team from the coal mines, and people overlooked us a lot, but we had great talent, and we did well. We did well.
That's great.
Yep. Tell us.
Go ahead, Dylan.
All right. Tell us about, I guess, into your college days and playing college.
Well, I ended up at Tennessee Wesleyan University in Athens, Tennessee. I was at Jacksonville State. Transferred. My two best friends. Well, my cousin and my best friend was at Tennessee Wesleyan at the time, and I got hurt at Jacksonville State, and they were like, during that time they could basically deal with your scholarship a little bit more, not like they're not doing today. But so I transferred to Tennessee Wesleyan, went there. I averaged 21, 11, and 9.
Wow, it's almost a triple double.
Yeah. I had some good years there, and went, and my agent after college, my agent was in Houston. Went to Houston, played at Fondy Rec Center with all the pros from Akeem Olajuwon, Kenny Smith, all these guys. Penny Hardaway, everybody came to Houston during that time. It was almost like the Drew League. It was
It was like a pro-am?
No, it was definitely pro-am, and then you worked out that's before they made the extra facilities for the Rockets and stuff.
Oh.
But everybody came. If you going to play professional or overseas or playing in the NBA, you was playing at Fondy Rec Center during that time, doing the summer leagues, doing workouts during the day. And so during that time, again, I was going to Seattle, free agency, and I hurt my ankle. I mean, one of those kind that they said it was better broken than, sprained the way it was.
Oh,
It took me out for about a year, 6 months to a year. Got back up, but during that time we were playing, and the coaches from the Globetrotters seen me there, and some players say, "Look, you know where your aspirations and stuff are at. Won't you come to camp, see what's going on here, and we think your personality and how you play would be great." Went to the camp, and I'm thinking that we're going to, I was like, well, I can't spin the ball. I don't know no
I
tricks.
can't do all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. And they said, just come to camp and you'll see. Went there, and it was nothing but all Americans, top college players, and we didn't touch the ball for like a week and a half. And I was like, wait a minute, this. Where's the jokes? Where's the tricks at? Running on track, doing tour days, and playing, because when the misconception, well, now, but when we came through, it was that you just laugh and joke and throw the ball behind your back and do some things. But all these guys here was, again, tops in the college All-Americans, guys that came from the NBA came, and we had guys leave us and go to the NBA. They look for talent. I mean, see if you can play, because I don't care how many times you can spin the ball on your finger, the ball got to go through the hoop.
Right,
Sometimes.
and it does a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I remember, I'm in the age group, so
Right.
I've been watching the Harlem Globetrotters for a long time. The Curly
Right.
days, your days, all that stuff. And I was always amazed at the skill level. And I never for once thought you guys didn't have skill.
Yeah.
For me, you had more skill than people in the NBA, because not only could you play, not only did the ball always seem to go in the basket, but you could also do all this stuff with the ball, which which was amazing to me. So for me, I always felt your skills were above the pro basketball player. I don't know if people thought it was below. Maybe in the NBA they did, but for me personally, I always thought the Harlem Globetrotters had more skill than any other basketball player in the world. That's how, as a kid and growing up, that's how I always felt.
That's why
I'm not just saying that to blow smoke up your ass,
That's all right.
exactly
Keep blowing
how
it. They
I
keep
felt.
blowing it. I like smoke.
I mean, you guys had to make baskets. If you could watch the Harlem Globetrotters even now, they have to make the baskets. They make some.
Well,
really
I think one of the
exciting
things that people like you're saying, we were, and I have to say, when Manny Jackson came and bought the team at that time, and it was going through some stuff, again, you had to find great basketball players, and then what they look for from that part is, if you had two great basketball players or two people for a position, and they both had the same type of skill, is, their personality. We didn't want anybody choking President Mandela or kicking the Pope in the leg. You got to have somebody that we're able to be representing, saying nobody's perfect, but that represent the brand well.
Right.
And then from that standpoint, what do you bring special to the Globetrotters? What skill set, what things that you have that transcends the aura of the Globetrotters? And I had guys on my team that jumped so high they got freaking flyer miles when they came.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys had skills that other people just didn't have.
Yeah. I mean, Vince Carter had the, you seen him when he put the arm in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had guys doing that in 92, 93. Barry Hardy was one of those people. We had Michael Wilson, that's in the Guinness Book of World Records, of slamming the ball, I think 12-1. So it's guys that definitely had those type of skill sets that really that made it. And we were just basketball players to entertain. When we played national teams, we played Olympic teams, we played college All-American teams, college when was that Michigan State and all of them was winning, Iowa. We played teams of that nature. So we really played a lot of basketball. We played a lot of great basketball, and then you had to make you laugh too.
Was it as fun as it looks like it was? Like, did you just enjoy it immensely, or
You know
was
what
it
I
harder
enjoyed the
than
most?
we see?
It's definitely harder. I mean, we travel. I traveled to 93 countries in my 15 years.
Wow.
Wow.
I, I I I played in the Forum and opened up the Staples Center. I mean, all the way through. So it's that kind of it was that kind of years for us. And then you travel. You travel. It was hard. The traveling was hard, but it's almost like how the Lakers and I could take them right now. How the Lakers chemistry is with everybody. It seemed like they all get along, all having a good time. That's how we were. My 15 years there, I had some great guys: Herbert Lane, Andre Branch, again Michael Wilson, Juan Versher, Orlando Antigua. That's actually was one of the coaches at University of Kentucky. Went to
Wow.
he was in Florida, then now he's in Illinois. So it's a lot of guys like that that play with us that made each and every day special. These guys, you got to think about these guys with great talent, great humor. Uh, people say, would you go back and play right now? No, but I would go back, but I would go back and just have the camaraderie that we had and the love. We meet every week still now since the pandemic.
Wow, really?
We meet every night, every like once a week on Zoom, just to older guys, younger guys, our age group, or our era, just to keep in touch and basically just to laugh.
It's like a fraternity, it sounds like.
It is. It is.
I mean, 15 years is a long time, so you have a lot of great relationships. Do you have any like one story for us that no one would know about on the road or something fun? Somebody that you don't like or don't talk to every week that you could throw under the bus? Or
I can tell you one story on camera that would be good. Okay. We went to we were the first professional team to go to free and democratic South Africa.
Okay. So after apartheid.
Right after President Mandela got elected, we were there in the 86 and 87. No, not 86. Heck, I was in high school. 96 and 97. And we got there and we was in the palace, and waiting on him to come out. And there was a lot of people there, cameras, that kind of stuff. And we were facing one way, but he came from the back of us.
Oh.
But when he came in, you knew someone was special. That aura he had about him, and just radiant. I mean, you didn't even have to see him. Huh? Right. You didn't even have to see him and knew somebody like,
that's wait amazing.
A minute. Yes. I mean, it was amazing. We stayed there. Next time I have a picture or two for you with him, and we played a little ball together. And it was an honor. And, we went all throughout South Africa. Then we came back the next year. This has really changed my professional life and my whole life, not just professional in sports, but just how about treating people. I'm still working on names, but he came up the next year. We came out again next year, was in Johannesburg, and he came out, we talked to him, and he went to everybody. He's like, "Hey, how you doing? Glad you came back," going down the line. Then he came to me and said, "Hey, Showtime, how you doing?" If I wasn't never starstruck, I was then.
Oh.
Because you see someone of this magnitude. I mean, he is known.
He brings peace to the world, right?
Yeah, he was that dude, and he still is that dude. Type. And for him to remember my name and to say it kind of changed me how I relate to people, because I know how well it touched me. And for my circle or anything that was in my circle, I try to treat the people the same in that way that he made me feel. So yeah, he changed my whole perspective that day, that moment.
What a great story.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a tear in my eye from that.
I got some more now, but no.
save them and then sprinkle them in as we go every,
That's
save
15
one for every,
Yeah, I think that was hands down one of the even being with Oprah and all that could touch President Mandela.
Wow. Okay, so let's
For you.
let's talk about what you're doing now, because that story kind of leads a little bit into what makes you tick and what you're doing right now. So you want to tell us a little bit about team and
well, we finalized the process of creating the nation's first teams college preparatory Christian academy for sports enthusiasts that deals with the careers in sports, from sports medicine, sports marketing, sports communication, sports nutrition, basically everything that society doesn't show you what sports really is. And TEAMS is a new learning model. The acronym stands for technology, engineering, athletics, mathematics, and science, where we take the concepts of STEM and view them through the lenses of athletics. So when you come to the school, you get admitted to the school, and you create your own pathway. You have to choose one of the things that are just say sports medicine. That'll be your pathway through throughout your 4 years of being there. Also, one of the things we just wanted to make sure that we take, and that's not for the physical, and I definitely want to stress that, not for the physical athlete or the physical person that want to have a love and desire to be in the sports world, but it's people that have the love and desire. I mean, things where we say artists, people that can draw, but also have their talent, but also have a love to be in the sports world. We just combine the two and show them how they mesh. That hey, you could take your talents of art and drawing. Not only that you may not be playing, but you can produce where people play, because all these stadiums, all the Staples Centers, all the
everybody needs a digital media person, right?
Oh, digital media, or they have to build the buildings. Some architects have to draw the buildings. It just didn't come up. So those are ways that medicine. Speaking of little LeBron James, when he get hurt, he goes to a sports medicine person, and they are in the game, and their knees don't have to hurt as much, and they can stay in there as long as they want to. So I think if you open up people's mind and see that, hey, it's more to sports than just running and jumping. And this might be I'm gonna say it anyway. I just the piece of be quiet and dribble.
I hate that.
It's that I don't want none of these kids, none of these people that's in the sports world or going in the sports world, especially coming through our school system, be able to, somebody can even label that or say that to them for not only the athletic ability, if that's how they come, or the knowledge or understanding of their craft that they will have coming through GAPA. It's called Gaffney Athletic Preparatory Academy. Simple GAPA, GAPA, GAPA.
So after high school, you also have a program for post-high school, correct?
We have a post-grad also. We have a 1-year post-grad school that would be for someone that may need extra time for grades, extra time to get their skill level together, extra time if they need foreign language or things of that nature that's coming from overseas, and basically give them that year of growth, and without losing their eligibility to go and be seen, and they could be seen by a bigger college if it was a smaller college or so, and they know that their talents are better or more advanced than what they think the opportunity to go to college was. They come to post-grad, develop that, get seen even better, and have an opportunity to go to a bigger school, maybe even Kentucky.
Well, not only that, like when the one and done rule goes away, maybe they don't want to go to college.
Yeah.
And your program makes a lot of sense because they still be eligible. They won't be playing in the pros,
Yeah.
right? So they could go
Yep.
to the pros.
And
Will you
getting
be
it.
offering like scholarships to really, really good athletes or is it just going to be, whoever qualifies and passionate, I want them in the school?
I think it's a little both. We understand that that everybody's not on the same level, or financially on the same level. I think our missions is lower than most. As a matter of fact, I would say almost all. I mean, we're the highest, and that's going to be staying is 15,000 a year, and for what, and basically from 9 to 15,000 is where we're going to be. We're going to have some scales that will definitely help people that may not have the full means to get there. We want to make it as affordable as possible. It's some guys that really have great talent, and girls that have great talent and great skill sets that maybe just not have the financial means to go to a high school of this magnitude, that we'll be able to fix some things to be able to have them.
And so what are you looking for right now in your process? Are you looking for advisors? Are you looking for sponsors? Is there any ask you have of the audience, of the fans that are watching you?
I think our biggest thing is definitely, and we thank you for this platform, is getting the information out. We're definitely looking for sponsors, looking for people to come in and come teammates with us, put names on buildings. Enrollment, help with some of the kids that we just talked about for enrollment, endowment pieces of that. We found out there's definitely some great opportunities for voucher, for people to come in and put money in the Tennessee voucher program and focus it to us as a nonprofit private school. That I think it's around about 70% of write-offs they get for that. So it's a lot of different ways. We're definitely looking for people that can come and give us advice. We're getting some new some advisors coming up, like Bernie Bickerstaff is going to be one of our
Fantastic.
advisors. You're going to be one of them. So we're going to be able to.
I want to sign up.
So we're going to have great people like yourself, and be able to just everybody knows what at this point of definitely the financial backing to help. Also, and again, knowledge. I mean, we don't know everything. We got the vision for it. We're moving towards the goal, and definitely any help or any assist, anything to help us score, we're definitely looking for.
Yeah, and I think it's very interesting because colleges these days, they do have these majors in sports management. It's very hard to get in. Once you get in, there's a plethora of people looking for a job. Yeah. But I think things in the world are going to change, with different types of education. So if you're already teaching them everything and they're coming out of high school, they might know more than they would learn in a college. So you might have a whole group of like interns and young trainees all ready to go that are educated, they have their high school degree, and they're focused on this. Whereas, right now people spend their first 2 years doing GE and their second 2 years doing sports management, but probably not as in depth as you're going to go. And you're going to have all kinds of guests and all your friends, and everybody can teach these people, how to groom themselves. And if they want to go to college, they're perfect. They're going to get into these schools because they'll already be well versed in it. So I think it's fantastic.
Thank you. I think one of the things that we want to do is how we say our real life experience campus is once you learn in the classroom that you're able to experience it on campus, because we'll have different events. We will be having tournaments and leagues and non-school events that they be able to help come and manage. We'll have, sports medicine things that'll be on campus that they can come and be a part of that, and they can see it. And, if there are vision learners like myself, it definitely helps. And that gives you that aha moment. It's like, oh, I just learned this in the classroom, and now I'm experiencing it. And once you get the experience, that's something no one can take from you. You get that experience, you can't take that from you. So that's what we're basically creating on this campus. It's not for everybody. It's just for people that have a love and desire to be in the world of sports.
Yeah, and Dylan is our editor. So, I was talking to Paul, and we kind of offered our platform up for students in his program to use our platform to have their own blog. So we can have some budding sports writers for you, Dylan.
I'm always looking for writers. We are here. And it sounds amazing because people don't realize that sports is behind the line, like you said. It's not just the athletes going out and playing. It takes a whole village of people to run an organization, to design the stadiums, to come up with new ideas, to do the social media, there's a lot. Speaking of social media, where can we find you to continue along with this journey as it goes?
Our website is, trying to make it easy. Website is gapacademy.org, and we're on all social platforms at Gap Academy TN. So Gap Academy TN for all social media outlets, and we are Gap Academy for our website.
That is amazing, guys. Go find them. We could chat all day about it. I'm sure we'll continue to chat about it here. You're here in the front row. Guys, it's time for shout outs at the end of each show, Paul. If you don't know, we shout out an athlete, anyone that you want. Shireen, we'll start with you. Where's your shout out going this week?
My shout out, Rondo. Rajon Rondo. I always believed in him. I was happy that he came here. I was mad on Twitter when anybody dissed him, and he's shutting up all those naysayers right now, and I'm loving it.
Paul, your shout out?
Can I give two?
Yeah,
of course.
Okay. I always have to give a shout out to we met a few times. He played with the Globetrotters for a little stint. Was Magic Johnson. He really gave me the love to play this game. I remember being 12 years old and watching him and Larry Bird playing in a championship game. That's the first game I ever watched on TV that the full time. So I always give Magic a shout out, what he's doing on the court, off the court. So that's a shout out. But I have to give my shout out to Butler from Tomball, Texas. I was when he was going through high school, I was right up the street in Magnolia, Texas, in the Houston area. He is doing an amazing job taking those young guys, and Pat Rapp, another Kentucky person, put that team together.
Laker.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a Laker fan now. Still a Laker fan. But since '79, when they said Magic Johnson. So the Dylan, you weren't born then, were you? You weren't around.
Youngin. I was younger than my youngest child.
1996 was my birthday.
So
he just had a birthday. He just had a birthday. 24.
Oh, did you? Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. It's been about a month ago.
Well, happy late birthday to you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I would say my shout out this week is going to the Stars and the Lightning, guys. The NHL playoffs are underway. I know everyone's talking, and we talk about the NBA a lot, but they have reached the Stanley Cup final, and the Stars and the Lightning, two teams that usually don't see that. One of the Lightning maybe a little more, but
where's my Kings? Missing.
Yeah, my Capitals lost way too early in the playoffs, but besides the year they won, that seems like a common theme. But guys, we do have to wrap it up here on In the Front Row. Paul, thanks for joining us so much. Shereen and Fredo, thanks as well. Guys, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so you can find everything and when these videos are posted. And follow us on social media at In the Front Row LA. Guys, I'm Dylan. We'll see you next time.
find me, yo, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. The best place to be, yeah, I'm in the front row. Best place to be, yeah. So what's colder than ice and even hotter than a flame? I be in the front row, chilling at a booth.